Yes. I would say we ride at dawn, but it's funny because usually I was talking to my partner about this, about dawn in general, is usually like when I go to sleep. And at the moment, it's been later. And if people want me to talk about that, I can. Just like let me know. But yeah, so we ride at dawn kind of vibes. For me, that's I will be already awake. Um, but yeah, so I wanted to talk more about this. I talked about it a bit about it in the middle of the video. It's a long video, so if you want, you can have a look here. But it is about Hecate and how Hecate has, at the moment, sorry, I got distracted. I don't know. That was like her pushing to show my like things. I don't know. There's like crystals on my side table today. And I before I started filming again, I went to go see if it looked okay. Which she was like, "Why are you having shame?" I shouldn't have. But anyway, I think that was it was a lesson again as usual. Anyway, so anyway, basically we were talking like if people don't want to watch the video, I'll catch you up. Basically we're talking about how Hecate is going wild on social media, like she's everywhere. And obviously it's a niche thing, so the people who see this video probably have had the same thing. She's Colin, right? And she's building an army, like I said. And the army is basically not what we think. It's not an army where you're fighting for something and there's sides. It's basically for us to be able to be free. That's it. It's like a freedom thing. And the interesting part is when people get into stuff like this, their first reaction is usually like, okay, so who's the good and who's the bad? And that's not what it is. It's about our freedom. It's about, like when people are talking about disclosure, disclosure is like silly if you think about it, because disclosure means that this external thing is what means a lot to us. And that's okay. And we shouldn't shame ourselves because that is never good. But we need to look at why that means so much to us still, even if we're like, even if we think that way. How would we, how could we like still be so idolizing that? And for me, I asked myself, because I don't idolize, but I do go, oh my God, it would be great. But the sad part is that the disclosure is us. The disclosure is what we do with this. We do with the new energy and big energy that we have available to us. We're the disclosure. And although everything is going to be different and everyone's going to have a different thing once they go within, my like I said, little warriors are helping themselves, and they're coming to me, and then they go and do their own thing. So like mine is like they're soldiers with what I want to do, but then they become their own soldiers. I mean, their own trainers of soldiers or whatever, right? And then it keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And so anyway, so what I feel about this is I, like, my whole life have never fit in really, in the sense of like it's just always completely wild and different. And I found out recently in the shift that I was like, why? And it was because my whole life I wasn't able to grow enough with my human as much as I have grown, and with my energy. And the thing is I know why now, and the biggest reason is because my energy, where I found out where it's from and what it's like, and obviously there's more about it, right? But like I know like a bit about it, and my energies have been like, if people can, if they want to get catch up on, I think it's the third tier of Patreon, I talk about what I'm going through and the energies that come through, and my, the phases. I did one recently when I started, well, it was like in the beginning stages of this shift. Actually, all of it, but like this specific, like how it feels to be ending, right? And, but anyway, so yeah, back on track. Basically, I feel like if there is a disclosure, it's not that it's so cool that they're doing it, it's that now people who will resonate with me, like they resonate with me because they actually want to resonate with me. And even the people who are like not trend followers, but they don't feel safe to do certain things. I was thinking that, but the funny part is I was like, okay, well that's what it was, but because my last video is how I'm like taking off the mask, I realized that was a mask. Even that was a mask. I should not care if other people see things in a certain way, right? Like I should not care. And I those are my values, and they all went out the window because of this externalization that we're so ingrained to do. So anyway, this is why this is my war to fight. And it's the authenticity. It's the self-expression. So yes, everyone's going to probably do their own style of teaching people to go within, and then when they go within, they might not even want to teach someone to go within. They might actually have, I mean, actually, they shouldn't really, because why? Like, why when they have something even more cool to offer? Because when you go within and you start using those energies and understanding that you've already always been doing it, and then you combine the two, and then you work on your human, and then you have all these things together, and they come together. Like the video I did where I talk about, if you go further down, you can see like there's like 17 videos, I think. I can't remember because it was a live. I talk about the realities, and if we, when we're complaining about the external realities, and we're like, we don't like how it is, we don't like the war, we don't like how they're acting, and we don't realize that's a combination of many things, and there's no one thing to blame. And the way that we fight this for real, and we become the disclosure, is to go within and find out how we want to express ourselves authentically, not from our so basically, okay, so this is how it is. So you're human, which I call now baby soul instead of ego, because the ego stuff is just, people have really taken that far, and I just don't want to do it anymore. I thought it was working, but it's not. So I'm just saying baby soul now, because you have the opportunity to become a soul. And if people are curious about that, ask me and I will explain it. But I'm in my dark divine feminine vibe, so it's not going to be as cozy as normal. I'm going to be like, no, I'm just kidding. But if you've been liking the style, that's what it's going to be like. But anyway, so when that happens, basically you're like, oh my God, I forgot what's going on now. So our human basically has accumulated tools. And sometimes those tools have been acquired because of trauma or, wounds and things like that. And it's up to us, and our mind field is your tools and stuff. It's up to us to build that library of all these cool things that we like and all that stuff. And I teach about that and stuff. And then you take those tools. You don't say, I am a surgeon, or I am this. You take those tools that you do, you put them on a shelf for a second, because let's say I'm trained in art, I'm trained in fashion, I'm trained in all these things, and I'm trained in literature, and all this stuff, right? Reading texts and old texts and stuff. Put that on the shelf, put that on the side. This is the ego death. It's not an ego death. You put it on the side, you don't prioritize it. You heal all the wounds surrounding it that might have made you do it and you didn't even really want to. You go within, you find out more about your soul after you've healed those things and stuff like that. And then you combine those two things. And I call that the heart. When people are they just throw that around and say the heart space, open your heart space, do this. What is that? It's that. It's the stuff you've gone through in your life and making that into gold, and making sure that it's all like you, all the stuff you do, all the tools, they mean it like to you. And then also the energy and the stuff that you like about your energy, because you might not like everything as the human. And then you put those together and you understand the style, you understand what you can do with those together. And when we all come together, or even on our own, it's powerful, and it shoots through all the repetitive poop and we're going to do that together. Whoever wants to do that with me.